name is Michael Bertrand, and today I'm going to talk to you about the myth of the work-free job. It's a myth that a lot of us were raised with, and it's a myth that has caused enormous damage, even though it started from the best of intentions. And it goes kind of like this. You're told in school that if you get good grades, you can go to university, find out what suits you, what the right job for you is, get a job doing that, and the job will be not like a job at all. It'll not even be work because it's so suited to you that it'll be like getting paid to play for a living. They don't say it exactly that way, but that's essentially the impression they leave you with. And it just doesn't work out that way. Even if you are lucky enough to figure out what suits you and get a degree in that, today, that bachelor's degree is worthless. You may as well wipe your ass with it because it doesn't mean jack shit. It won't get you anything. Especially if you happen to be unlucky enough to have unmarket-worthy skills, unmarket-worthy preferences. Sure, you might be born to love literature, but unless you're willing and able to compete with the 500 other applicants who want that professor of teaching literature job, you're not going to get a job teaching it. There's a whole lot of other people that want to lead the dream academic life just like you do. And so even if you get that degree, but say you even take it all the way to the point where you've got whatever degree you need to work in your field, it's going to be work. No matter what you do, it's work. Because work is basically roughly functionally defined in modern society as things you don't feel like doing. If you feel like doing it, it's not work. But if you do, if you don't, it is. And so, in a way, being led down the garden path to where you will have to do what you love for a living is actually a kind of hell. Because it's almost as though it's designed to make you no longer love it. Anything sours when you are forced to do it. Doesn't matter what it is. If it was required by your job that you eat 3 of your favorite candy bar every day at lunch, you would hate that candy bar. Loathe it within a week. Even if before that you usually had 2. So a lot of people, at least my age, I was born in 1973, so I'm 40 years old, were raised with this idea. And of course the adults teaching you this, they mean well. They want to give you some kind of hope for the future. They want you to dream. Definitely in the 70s, they were really big on kids dreaming. And they want you to believe that you can be anything you want to be. But here's the thing. Despite what many an animated feature in children's books will tell you, no matter how badly an ant wants to be a football linebacker, he's never gonna be one. It's just not gonna happen. It's simply not true that you can be whatever you want to be. You will be limited by your own talents, your own abilities. So all that talk of you can be whatever you want to be if you try hard enough, I think that it's caused more harm than good, even though it was meant in the best possible way. It contains within it essentially the message that if you do not end up being what you really want to be, you failed. Because you could have been. You just didn't. Loser. Maybe it was just never in the cards. This idea that you can grow up and get a job that you like so much and that suits you so well that it's wonderful, and you're jumping out of bed at the start of every day, ready to take on that world. It's not going to happen. Life is work. Life is work. It's effort. It's strain. It's strife. It's toil. Not that it has to be in the sense of it would be wrong to make it any easier. It's just going to be. So I think this "you can be what you want to be" dream, I think we need to modify it. I mean, we can't just switch gears to the opposite and equally wrong polarity and say, "You're never going to amount to shit, kid. Get used to it." Because that would be, frankly, worse. At least if you believe until after graduation, then you've been happy up until then, at least. But I think we need to make it okay to not end up being what you really wanted to be. We need to tell kids, go ahead and try and be what you really want to be. But if you don't end up that way, if you end up with a job and a life that is nothing like what you planned for, that's okay too. It's okay to be ordinary, as my friend Felicity says. So that's the myth of the work-free job. I'm sure there are people out there who get it, but I'm sure they're a tiny, tiny minority. Less than 1%. And for the rest of us, maybe we'd be better off being slightly more realistic. That's all I've got to say for today. Talk to you later, folks.